All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to unpack what is arguably the most massive paradigm shift in software development happening right now, right under our noses. You know, for years, we've thought about software solely in terms of humans interacting with screens. But the very nature of who, or actually scratch that, what, uses the internet is changing at just a breakneck pace. We are entering this wild new era where AI agents aren't just helping us write code anymore, they're actually becoming the primary consumers of the products we build.
We're kicking things off with a pretty provocative thought from the developer community, and I think it sets the stakes perfectly. It goes, if your product cannot connect to my agent in some way, I'm 1,000 times less likely to use it. Really think about the weight of that statement. As these intelligent systems become so deeply integrated into our daily workflows, developers are making foundational choices based almost entirely on agent accessibility. If an AI agent can't easily access and interact with your product, well, your product is practically dead in the water. You're going to be left selling only to legacy users, which in this case means actual human beings.
To really grasp why this is happening so unbelievably fast, let's just trace the rapid evolution of coding agents over the past year or so. It's fascinating. A little over a year ago, we were relying on advanced autocomplete. It was essentially just a very smart IntelliSense. You prompt, you get some code, you prompt again. But then, a few months later, the models advanced enough to one-shot entire features in a single go. Over a recent holiday break, engineers started running these agents in parallel, literally having them collaborate with each other. And today, we are looking at entirely autonomous code factories. Companies like Ramp have a system called Inspect that's generating the vast majority of their pull requests. WorkOS has an internal system called Horizon that just watches Slack messages or server alerts and then autonomously writes, debugs, and ships the code to fix it.
This whole trajectory is exactly like the shift we've been seeing in cars. For a while, we were in the cruise control phase. Sure, the car could maintain its speed or keep you in the lane, but you still absolutely needed a steering wheel, your hands on it, and a human in the loop staring at an IDE. But now, with systems like Horizon or striped minions, we are entering the realm of fully autonomous engineering. There is absolutely no steering wheel. You don't have controls. You just give it a prompt, tell it your destination, go take a nap, and wake up when the feature is completely built. Honestly, you don't even need an IDE anymore.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. How do we actually get there? Because an AI model by itself, like Opus or GPT-4, is really just an engine. And you can't just drop an engine in the middle of the highway and expect it to go anywhere, right? To make it actually effective, you need to build what the industry calls a harness. Think of the harness as the chassis. It's the wheels, the body, the fuel line. It's the entire environment built around that language model that connects it to the real world and allows it to actually drive.
So what does a functional harness actually look like? Well, building one basically comes down to 5 distinct pillars. First up, you need a secure runtime, a safe sandbox for the agent to execute code without breaking everything. Second is tool access. It has to be able to plug into things like your GitHub, your databases, your CI pipelines. Third, it needs deep context. It has to read your company's Notion wikis, product requirement docs, and years of Slack conversations just to understand the why behind what it's building. Fourth, it absolutely needs built-in feedback loops so it can build, test, and verify the code it just wrote. And finally, a layer for human review. Humans are definitely still involved, but our role is moving way up the stack. We're reviewing trade-offs and intent, kind of like a principal engineer would, rather than writing the raw syntax.
As these harnesses get more advanced, we are seeing a totally fascinating emergent behavior. Agents aren't just blindly taking orders to write code inside a pre-existing app anymore. When you give them a blank slate, they're actually deciding which software products and infrastructure to build on. You give an agent a prompt to build an app, and it decides entirely on its own which database to use, which front-end framework makes the most sense, where to host the whole thing, and what authentication provider to plug in. This absolutely flips Y Combinator's famous startup mantra right on its head. For years, the golden rule of Silicon Valley was simply make something people want. But moving forward, making something people want might be necessary, but it's definitely no longer sufficient. You must make something agents want. Think about it. Agents are going to be spawning infinitely faster than humans, they're working 24/7 without needing sleep, and they are making the underlying architectural and purchasing decisions. The companies that provide the best documentation and the most seamless interfaces for agents, those are the ones that are going to win this new economy. But hold on, because this brings us to a massive, glaring roadblock in this emerging agent economy. It's the elephant in the room, really. If AI agents are your new primary consumers and they want to choose your database or your hosting platform, how on earth do they actually create an account to start using it?
The harsh truth here is that decades of internet infrastructure were designed with one singular security goal in mind: keep the bots out. Modern registration pages are basically brick walls for autonomous agents. I mean, we rely on CAPTCHAs, magic links sent to human email inboxes, password managers, really complex form validations. An agent doesn't have an email inbox to check. It certainly can't figure out which of those little squares contains a crosswalk, and frankly, most of us humans can barely do that anyway. We have spent decades trying to limit automated behavior, and suddenly we have the exact opposite problem. We desperately want to let the good automated behavior in, but all our doors are locked from the inside.
To solve this critical bottleneck, a team at WorkOS introduced a brand new missing primitive. It's called auth.md. Think of it kind of like a robots.txt file, but built specifically for authentication. It's a set of open ideas and principles, not some heavy, restrictive new corporate standard that gives service providers a way to offer a truly agent-native sign-up experience based on existing web standards. It's literally just a simple file hosted on your domain that tells an autonomous agent exactly how it can legitimately register, what the free tier constraints are, and how it can become a user in your system without instantly getting flagged as spam.
Let's break down how this actually works under the hood, because at the absolute core of auth.md is something called the IDJAG. That stands for Identity Assertion JWT Authorization Grant. Sounds like a mouthful, right? But it's actually incredibly elegant. It is simply a secure JSON web token that passes a trusted identity assertion from the agent directly to the service provider. Basically, it acts as a digital handshake where the agent's provider says, "Hey, I vouch for this agent. Their identity is verified," which allows the receiving service to confidently issue an account without ever asking for a human to step in.
We actually saw this play out live at the MCP Night event, and it was completely seamless. A developer was building a Svelte app directly in their terminal using an agent. The agent realized, hey, this app needs to be deployed. So, step 1, the agent autonomously read Cloudflare's auth.md file. Step 2, it generated and sent over an IDJAG to prove who it was. Step 3, Cloudflare trusted the issuer, and in step 4, Cloudflare instantly returned a fresh API access token. The agent then went ahead, set up a subdomain, and deployed the entire app on its own. No passwords, no CAPTCHAs, it never even left the terminal.
And it didn't even stop there. The user then decided they wanted to redesign the app with this cool retro pixel art look. So the agent immediately repeated that exact same automated registration flow with a completely different service, a web scraping tool called Firecrawl. It autonomously provisioned a Firecrawl account, went out and scraped the Web Design Museum for inspiration, and completely rewrote the CSS to reskin the app. This perfectly proves that the auth.m framework scales seamlessly across multiple, totally different third-party services. Fixing this registration hurdle, that's really just phase 1. It paves the way for a massive new agent economy roadmap. Right now, we're conquering automated discovery and agentic registration with auth.m. That naturally leads to autonomous API usage. But the end state, which is where things get incredibly exciting, is agentic payments. We are looking at a very near future where an agent won't just sign up for your SaaS product, it will literally say, "Take my money," entering into financial transactions on behalf of an organization to solve problems. But registration had to be fixed first because obviously you can't put a credit card form in front of something that can't even get past the sign-up page. Now, if you're sitting there thinking this is just some fringe Silicon Valley subculture experiment, look at the legacy enterprise giants. Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, which is one of the largest and oldest SaaS companies on the planet, making billions selling dashboard interfaces to humans, recently declared, "Our API is the UI." Salesforce is actively exposing their entire platform, Salesforce, Agentforce, Slack, as APIs explicitly for agents. They aren't doing this defensively either. They view autonomous agents as their absolute biggest growth dimension for the future. Which brings us to the final and most vital question of this explainer. For years, the gold standard in software was making sure your app was enterprise-ready. Today, the new frontier is making it agent-ready. A relatively small set of humans use the web today, but soon, an absolute army of agents that don't sleep, don't get tired, and work 24/7 will be the dominant force on the internet. The biggest user base in the history of the world is waiting right at your front door. So the only question left for you to answer is, are you ready to let them in?